All right, I've got Amy Hammons with me today, the Texas Main Street Program coordinator, and you are joining us from Austin, correct?
I am. I'm in the Austin area, and that's where we have our main offices for the Texas Historical Commission, although we do have some historic sites, but most of us in the main preservation programs are in Austin.
Well, I was really excited to speak with you today because I learned about the Texas Main Street Program when I was visiting Royce City doing another story, and their city council member mentioned it to me, and I thought, wait, this exists? I didn't even know there was such a program. So for people joining us, let's talk about what the Texas Main Street Program is and what your goals are.
Sure, absolutely. So let's start by saying that the Texas Main Street Program is within the Texas Historical Commission. We are one of the many preservation programs they have in that agency. It is the state agency for historic preservation. We save the real places that tell the real stories of Texas, and Main Street is a wonderful avenue for preserving the stories of Texas. The Texas Main Street Program is a state coordinating program for the national affiliate Main Street America. Main Street America grew out of the National Trust for Historic Preservation. Around 1980, they started being really concerned about challenges facing historic downtowns, specifically their commercial districts. There had been a lot of commercial activity that had moved out of the center of town to the outskirts, and they were worried, quite frankly, about the historic character of these communities being lost. So 40 years later, they have Main Street America, who works with coordinating programs like the one in Texas. And we help local programs who want to participate by applying the Main Street model in their community. You can do downtown revitalization in a lot of ways, but the Main Street approach provides accountability, it provides structure, it ensures that people are really looking at the metrics of a community. It's a lot of community engagement, so it's a community-driven kind of economic strategies to really catalyze reinvestment in communities, specifically through historic preservation. And so we have a team at the Texas Historical Commission, and they are made up of architect, planners, we have community engagement specialists, organizational change specialists, and we have people who have worked in local and rural Main Street communities. And we all work together with our 83 communities in Texas who participate in the program, agree to apply the Main Street structure, they agree to fund the Main Street structure, and we all work together to try to get people further down the road in terms of really capitalizing on what's unique, the unique identity of these communities, specifically as it ties to the history of their community.
And I think that's what's interesting too, is that, I mentioned going to Royce City, but Royce City looks very different than maybe Grapevine, which is another, certified or accredited city that's in the Main Street program.
Yes.
So how do you look at these cities overall? I mean, there's 85, is that correct, that are in Texas?
We actually have 83 at the moment, and obviously we'll be growing as time goes on, but we have 83 at the moment.
And all those cities are going to look very different. So your approach actually then has to apply to them, but with their own uniqueness.
Yes.
And how does that work to make sure that they can still navigate and be successful? Obviously, Royce City dealing with different challenges other than Denison or Grapevine and that sort of a thing.
So I think that specifically the Main Street approach is really about looking at a community's assets, what they have, their metrics, what retail gaps exist in their community, what they have, what they don't have, looking at the small businesses, the people who want to do business in that community, also the general assets they have. Some communities are going to be very government driven if they're a county seat. Some are more lean towards arts and culture.